So this is our final section for the evening. Thank you everybody for submitting questions. So the first question we have is there anything in CalCare that provides aid to hate crime victims? Because hate crime victims always need GoFundMes to pay those. Anybody want to start with this one?
But specifically to, I mean, CalCare will provide care for everyone. Regardless of ability to pay, whether they're victims of hate crimes, whether they're coming before the criminal justice system as victims. I mean, the reality is that right now, the fact we have to ask that question tells us a lot about our current healthcare system, right? Like under CalCare, in addition to ensuring that there are no healthcare disparities, there's also no closed door. And so if there are certain sensitivities that are required in terms of hate crime victims, that's the kind of thing that the CalCare board wants us to develop, takes feedback from the community, from different nonprofits, from different advocacy groups. And if there's a specific need that, hey, there needs to be a certain delivery of care mechanism for hate crime victims, that's something that the CalCare board can then implement as a system-wide consideration. And so the short answer is everyone's covered for every need, including mental health needs, by the way. Which is also, I was just at Good Samaritan Hospital in San Jose. Hospital Corporation of America is shutting down 18 critical care intensive unit mental health beds. So, obviously victims of crime or hate crime, we want to make sure their physical and mental health needs are cared for. But if there are specific aspects of care that are necessary, that's why the whole CalCare board and advisory board, their meetings are transparent. You can go to those meetings and say, hey, we don't feel that one portion of our community's needs are being met in the way they should, and can offer suggestions. That's the great thing about this. Right now, if you want help, where the hell do you go? You go to some private insurance company and say, oh, please beg them to cover your needs. And so this is going to be a 180, totally different, where the needs of our community will come front and center.
I will add, so the connection between single payer, universal health care, whatever we choose to call it, and COVID and the rise of AAPI hate is a reality that folks wanted to point a finger and place blame. My father has worked in the community of Chinatown for many decades, and in COVID, we organized the first Stop AAPI Hate rally convening to bring attention to what was happening to our Chinese elders in Chinatown when they were being attacked. My father is a Mexican immigrant from Zacatecas, and he asked me and told me, I saw what is happening, none of this is okay. What can you do? We rallied, we got together as a community, and I want to just highlight our sister with the shirt, Stop AAPI Hate. Through the budget process in the state legislature in 2022, we were able to allocate $30 million in a new fund dedicated to grants related to stopping AAPI hate across communities in California. We did that again in this year's budget. So we are trying to tie all the pieces together, but it's like a Band-Aid on a lot of issues, right? But that's what we have to do at the moment until we are able to move forward with a policy that encompasses everything. But we are, and I share that with you because I think the connections are important, and like in the way in which society chooses to behave and how we who are so privileged to be in our positions within the Assembly to be able to move at the end of the day a budget process, much with single payer or with anything else, or with this $30 million plus grant, to ensure that communities feel seen, feel heard, have access, have resources, and that at the end of the day, our budget is a reflection of our values.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think when we run back to one of the other questions, which is about the mitigation of things in our communities. Hate in any form, in any way, towards any individual is just unacceptable, period. Unacceptable, period. And I think what's important about CalCare is that there's a lot of different elements about an injury to a person that we can now cover. When we talk about the preventive approaches, It's one. There's a lot of mental health care issues in our community now that have to be addressed. And our healthcare system doesn't do that today. And in fact, you can go be prescribed to or be sent, referred to a doctor for mental health care issues, and it can take weeks before you get there. If you are assaulted, there's very different ways that you were injured. Be it in your mind, be it physically, or family members. And our healthcare system today is not equipped with that because it's about a bottom line, it's about profit. And I think when you talk about healthcare, when you talk about whole person care, we begin to talk about all the different disparities that have been left out there that we can now address because it's there. Now I'll share a very personal story, if I may, with the crowd. Today's one of these days where healthcare becomes a lot more important to me than it was yesterday. And every single day is very important. Some of you know, for those people who I've recognized from here, that my kids are struggling with asthma. And they're fortunate enough to have CalCare today. I did when I was growing up, and I had severe asthma. So a few weeks ago, we bring my daughter to the doctor, because she's got a flare-up. Anybody who has a kid with asthma would understand, when the weather changes, there's a bit of a flare-up. Like I get a flare-up, but I've learned to control it. And they took x-rays of her chest. Ends up she's okay. It was more allergies related to the changes of what we've been now facing with the late bloom. So went home, not a big deal. Earlier today, a little bit after maybe 2, we get a call from the doctor. And the doctor comes back and says, well, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, whatever, a couple of weeks, we took some x-rays. And we run into different departments, etc. You might have to come back in. Of course, my wife was shocked. And we were told really right after that they had detected the potential scoliosis in my daughter. As a father, you parent, you never quite really know how to deal with an issue when it arises in that particular way. But that it would take a certain amount of time before you get an appointment or a referral. And if we're lucky enough, there's going to be one open in a month or 2. And this is people that help pick up, who pays into a system. Let alone the millions of people in California, or hundreds of millions of people across the United States who don't have basic healthcare coverage, or who don't qualify. So today, when I was coming here, I was thinking to myself, on the day that I'm going to talk about CalCare, the day that we received this call about potential, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and we're going to pray that doesn't happen, and that there's preventative measures if it is to mitigate that. But now we've been set on a long journey. Hopefully it's a short journey if it's not what they think it is, but they have to continue to run a few tests. But if so, we're now on a long journey. Like many other people are in California, about what healthcare coverage should do for people and how to live a life that is meaningful, whole, with dignity, even if you have a disease or something that has happened in your body. But for me, this life gets a lot more personal every day. So for me, the understanding of getting quality healthcare for people and preventive healthcare for people too is something that is more important than it's ever been. So again, I want to thank our colleagues who have shown leadership on this area, and I want to thank all the leaders who are here today in the crowd, and CNA who has led the fight to make sure that people have healthcare coverage. Because even if you pay into a system, it's not really adequate enough to address the issues when it comes up. Because all of a sudden, you're another number. And our healthcare system in the fourth largest economy in the world has got to be better than just notifying you that sometime down the line we might be able to address that issue. Because we should. And that's the bottom line, because we should.